You were never meant to understand this, because the moment you do, everything changes. Not slowly, not over time, but instantly. And the system you trust every single day was never designed for you to fully see it. Not clearly, not completely, not in a way where everything connects at once, because if it did, your entire reality would shift. And systems like this don't rely on force. They rely on something far more powerful. Normals, familiarity, routine. You wake up, you move, you decide, you act, and it all feels like it's coming from you. But here's the first crack. What if it's not? What if your day isn't as independent as it feels? What if every action, every choice, every pattern is part of something larger, something designed not to control you, but to guide you just enough that you never notice? Now think about your day. You wake up, you check your phone, you scroll, you respond, you move, you work, you spend, you consume. It feels personal. It feels independent. But pause. What if those decisions aren't random? What if they're structured, designed environments where some paths are easier, faster, more visible, while others fade away? Not removed, just less likely. And that changes everything. Because if one option is always easier, you don't choose it. You follow it. Now it gets deeper. This system didn't appear overnight. It evolved, layer by layer, decision by decision, until it became invisible. Because the most powerful systems are the ones you don't question. Now go back. Before everything was connected. Before your phone became your center. Choices were simple, direct. But now, information is filtered. Options are structured. Decisions are guided. And that guidance became invisible. You still feel like you're choosing, but the environment is designed, and that design is not random. If the environment is designed, who designed it? And more importantly, who benefits from it? Because once you ask that, you start seeing patterns. Now let's break it down. Information. Everything starts here. What you see. What reaches you. What captures your attention. Because information shapes perception. And perception shapes decisions. Now imagine controlling that flow. Not by blocking everything, but by prioritizing certain things, making some ideas more visible, more frequent, more accessible, while others exist but stay hidden. Now think about how you search. How often do you go beyond the first few results? Almost never. Because you trust the system. But best is defined by algorithms, by design. Now imagine that. At scale, millions of people seeing what they're guided to see, thinking what they're guided to think, acting just slightly differently, not controlled, but influenced. Now the next layer. Attention, because information isn't enough. You need focus, and attention is limited. So the system fights for it. Notifications, alerts, endless loops. And once it has your attention, it guides it seamlessly. Now think about this. How many times did you open your phone for one thing and stayed for 10? That's not random. That's design. Now deeper. Behavior. Because once attention is captured, behavior follows. What you click, what you watch, what you buy, what you believe. And behavior creates patterns, predictable patterns. Now imagine tracking those patterns across billions. Now the system doesn't just react, it anticipates. And anticipation is power. Now the twist. The system doesn't need control. It only needs influence. Enough to guide direction. Enough to shape outcomes. Now zoom out. This isn't just digital. It's structural. It shapes money, opportunity, success. Now think about habits. One tap, one click, no friction, and repeated actions become automatic. Habit removes awareness. You stop thinking. You start reacting. And reaction is predictable. Now imagine billions of predictable actions every day. That creates something massive. A system that understands you. Now the climax. The system doesn't control your actions. It controls the environment that shapes your actions. And that is more powerful because it feels like freedom. Now the truth. This system doesn't just support your life. It shapes it. Your phone is no longer a tool. It's an entry point to everything. Now ask yourself, if that access disappears, what happens? That's not convenience. That's dependency. Now the ending. You are not outside this system. You are inside it. Every click, every scroll, every decision feeds it. Now the final question. What changes when you become aware? Not the system. The system stays. But you. Change. You start noticing patterns, influence. You pause. You question. You choose differently. And that small shift changes everything. Now bring it back. You were never meant to understand this. Not because it was hidden, but because it was everywhere. So normal, so invisible, But now, you see it. And once you see it, you don't just use the system. You understand it.